Welcome to K9-1-1 with your host, Michael Corbin. On this video, you will learn great aspects of dog training, dog behavior, and canine-related issues. So sit back, relax, and turn up the volume for the absolute best free instruction on the planet, period. And now, Michael Corbin.
All right, episode number 4. With me, as always, in the studios right now, my good buddy, one of my best friends, the owner, the creator, the president, the vice president, the CEO,
The guy who
the general manager, the assistant general manager, the head coach, the associate coach, the assistant coach, anything he wants to
the
be.
janitor,
Yeah.
the guy who vacuums the rug.
Yeah, Gary Labar. How you doing today,
Good.
Gary?
How are you?
Not bad. Pretty good. Can't complain, right?
Good deal.
Yeah. So, Gary, let's get right to it. Already episode number 4. I already have 3 of these things posted on YouTube.
Very nice.
It's going to get better as we go along, as the more episodes we put on. It's just going to get better and better. I just got to get the rust off. I haven't been on the air for quite a while.
You're doing fine, my brother.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Anyways, Gary, we were talking about this last week, and I just really want to get this out of the way. I have to talk about this.
Yeah.
As you know, you saw my library. I have quite a few books on dog psychology, dog training, anything related with dogs, dog descriptions. And basically, nobody really, whether a dog trainer or a dog psychologist or whoever what they call themselves these days, wrote what would they do, how do they operate, what they look for when they're opening up or running a dog training facility,
Yeah.
or obedience school, whether it's a large one or it's a small one, what to look for. And I had a few people ask me what I would do it, and I thought, well, you know what, I never really got a book and someone's opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I have my own views, and I thought I'd just share it with everybody, what I would do and how I would look for if I were to hire a dog trainer or for obedience or for a certain type of dog training or like protection, or if I got to get someone that I got to teach agitation, decoy work for protection.
What would your criteria
That's the guy
be?
who has that big suit or the arm guard.
The bite suit.
And that's right. That takes the bite from the dog. And really what he does is teaching the dog how to bite properly, put up a good fight, and build a dog's confidence.
Yeah.
Because that's so misunderstood. And I'll get into that in future episodes. But
Well, people don't understand there are dogs that do that particular service, and we need dogs like that. Police dogs, protection dogs, guard dogs.
Yeah.
It's not every dog you go out and train like that. It's specific dogs, right?
it's a specific breed, and it even comes down to certain individuals of that breed that are qualified to do that type of work. You're looking for the proper drives, you're looking for proper temperament, you're looking for the proper structure, you're looking for the proper overall quality of the animal.
Yeah.
So anyways, if I were to hire someone like a dog trainer or a decoy, especially for someone like a quality that wants to do that kind of work,
Yeah.
some people would hire someone that's already experienced.
Okay.
You heard that many times before in other areas of the jobs.
Yeah.
Experience required.
Right, correct.
I'm the opposite. I'm looking for someone that doesn't have any experience.
So you
that
can
has
train
no
them.
knowledge. That's right.
Train them properly.
Train them the way I want them done.
Right,
The way I
Right.
want the training done.
right.
What I look for in that person is I'm looking for him to have the passion for dog training.
Right.
Okay? Is not in it for the quick buck. He's not in it for something to do. He's not in it to impress people. All right? They're not in it for that.
Right.
So
And he doesn't bring his own mantra of what he may have already learned by either
exactly.
somebody else or videos or books. You want someone, what we call grassroots, ground floor.
Exactly.
You train them your way, and that way it makes for a better training program and facility, actually.
Yeah, and I guess it would limit the confrontation. Now, he's allowed to have his own opinion,
Yeah.
okay?
What happens if
But
it's a girl?
in the end, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. He's allowed to have his own opinion, right? But in the end, it's the owner, the head boss's final decision, what goes on where, how to do things.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that. Also, what I'm looking for loyalty.
Right.
I'm looking for respect, it's a mutual thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him respect. He's got to respect me. And I'm looking for loyalty. One thing I hate, and the people that know me outside the area here, whether it's in the dog training field or any other area or personal friends,
Yeah.
is one thing I hate is betrayal and backstabbers.
Right.
I do not like that.
Right.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves. You know that, Gary?
Yeah, well, nobody likes it. I don't like
nobody
that.
likes it.
Yeah.
But I made it known if that happened to me.
Yeah.
All right. And that's fine. Maybe down the road, we still could be friends or co-workers or acquaintances or whatever. But I would never trust that person for a very long time or not at all. It's just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I just don't find like that if I got backstabbed once, it could happen again, and it's not worth it, right? And
some people change, but the majority of people do not change.
And that's why sometimes I will down the road, like if I really think about it, or the person proves himself or something, or wants my respect or trust, it really has, it would take a long time, and it's just the way I am.
Right.
So I really ask the person, not to backstab or betrayal. Like if I'm going to train him these certain techniques, which you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like trying to find an apprenticeship somewhere. A lot of people don't do that, right?
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
I would assume it's not like learning to be a plumber. There's not a lot of stuff out there that teach you how to train.
And when you're learning,
dogs.
you're kind of doing it on your own time. You're going to have to find another job to supply it, because I ain't paying you. I'm showing you techniques where if you go to college or something like that, an accredited school, so-called, and they rob you of $5,000 or something like that just to train you these techniques. Well, if I'm training you for free, this is the least you could do, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, and another thing, the staff. This is the kicker here. A lot of people will pick first qualified people, whether it's if it's a guy or a girl or male or female.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit different. My whole staff will either be all guys or all girls.
Really? No mix and match?
No mix and match.
Because it takes away from the learning process. Meaning guys are hitting on girls.
That's it. And it creates a problem. And would you want your business to suffer because of this?
No, not because of sexual tension.
That's right. So, and actually what I would lean towards is I would hire a all-female staff.
Yeah.
One of the shows I was doing before, I interviewed one of my role models in the dog training area. His name was Matthew Margolis, and he even said that he finds the females make the better dog trainers.
Yeah.
It's debatable, but they do have some really good female dog trainers.
Yeah. I would think,
especially in the States. But there are some bad ones too, but there are some good ones. And I think, especially in the protection area, I think they get overlooked because a lot of people think that they're just not strong enough and mentally tough enough. But I find that false. I've seen some really good ones, female dog trainers that can train dogs for protection and actually get in the bite suit and do the decoy work, and they're just as good. But I would just hire an all-female cast. I find they seem to be I don't want to say
more
less
attentive,
dominant,
and
more
they,
attentive,
that kind of thing, right?
More, probably you say affectionate with the dogs, more caring, but also something different, I guess. But I would do that. That would be my way of doing that. And also, another thing I look for is sacrifice.
Yeah.
Certain holidays, if you have to come in, you have to come in. Remember the dog kennels. If you're housing dogs, you're training dogs to be sold to a client or a customer. You're not just training for obedience, like an obedience class. You have a kennel of 10 dogs. They do, remember, their cages do have to be cleaned. Their kennels do have to be cleaned every day, maybe twice, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
They do have to be fed.
Yeah, there's a lot of
water. They do have to be walked.
They're animals.
That's right. It's an everyday process. When I worked at the Bowmanville Zoo, we were in Christmas Day, Easter, Thanksgiving.
You have
right?
Well, you have
maybe
to
our
eat.
hours are a little bit shorter, right? We did what we have to do, and then we could go. But nonetheless, we still had responsibilities. There was no set holidays.
No, when you're dealing with animals, of course, even a pet, they have to eat every day. They need their exercise. Their kennels or living quarters, per se, have to be cleaned.
Exactly.
You know, they have to be maintained. They're an animal, right? You can't let them go.
And also, too, whether it's raining, snowing, cold weather, windy, whatever, blistering hot, they'd still look for their walks. I never had a dog that didn't want his walk.
Yeah.
So all these, this is the qualities I look for in a person. A little advice there on how to operate it. And hopefully anybody that's listening that want these tips, hopefully it works out for you.
Well, here's the thing. The two major things I think everyone can agree on. Number one, you're willing to learn. Number one, right? The
Yep.
person that you bring into a school or a training facility, you're willing to learn. And number two, you're willing to work. After you learn the techniques, after you learn the proper procedures, now you're willing to work at it, right? You're willing to work.
Exactly.
This is not a
you gotta
profession
prove
for
yourself.
laziness.
Yeah, you got to prove yourself too, right?
Yeah.
I want to see if you're cut out for this stuff.
Right.
And another thing, we also mentioned about either all female or all male staff.
Yeah.
The reason for it, like you said, sexual tension and all
It
that.
is.
I don't want this kind of what we call it office romance type of thing, as they call it in the office buildings.
Yeah.
And then if something happens, something goes bad, then you got tension. Well, I don't want to be in this area where he's at. I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to have to talk to her, right? And all of a sudden, the business suffers because of it. So either then I'm looking at getting rid of one, have to fire one, or both people. And that's not right. And then it starts bringing animosity into the workplace. So that's one of the policies. That's a strict policy I would enforce, is just you don't
Mix and match.
You don't mix and match.
Yeah.
And I know some people outside this other workplaces. I know some guys, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like, they can't go out to a nightclub and meet someone. They're, but inside the workplace where the women has nowhere to run,
Mm-hmm.
they become all macho and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't put up with that. But that's just from past experience, right? And
it
those are
happens in
policies.
the workplace.
And it happens a lot.
all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got laws and all that to deal with it, but those are just some quick facts, some tips on how I would operate the schools.
Now, if someone wanted to right now, let's just say really quick, if someone wanted to contact you because they're watching this video, they're listening to your audio, and let's say someone's local and they say, "Hey, Mike, I'm interested in doing what you're talking about, and I know you have an up and coming school coming here, and how do I contact you, or how do I get a hold of you?" So what would you tell them? What's your contact information?
Well, I would have them email me at corbin.k911@yahoo.ca.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could go on Facebook, Michael Corbin Reality Radio, or even Twitter at Corbin K9-1-1.
Very good.
Those are the three for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have something in the works. I'm not mentioning it yet. It's still being planned. And if I do, down the road, look to hire a trainer or a decoy agitator, I mean, those are the tips I would go by.
Mm-hmm.
And they may think it's easy, and I really would test them.
Very nice.
To the point where I even tried to make them quit. That's how bad. That's how hard.
Wow, you'd be a hard ass boss.
Yeah, I had them.
Yeah.
In my past work experiences, even if it's not dog related, but even in the animal field, like zookeeping, I had them. I had one that say, if you could work for him, you could work for anybody.
Yeah.
But I took his techniques, some of his techniques, and I incorporated it. Right? You learn from other people.
That's right.
You take what might work for you, what you like, and you incorporate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's same with dog training. Obedience. Don't be narrow-minded. Look at every other dog trainers. Look at his training style. Look at his techniques. Study them. See what works, see what doesn't.
Well, that's how you learn, right?
Because you're gonna encounter dogs with different personalities, different behavior issues.
Yeah.
Stronger temperaments, weak temperaments. All these play a fact.
Yeah.
You get a dog that's very skittish, very afraid of everything, hasn't been socialized with nothing. I seen one of the worst case scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so gentle with the dog that he felt comfortable with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner even told me I never seen the dog like that calm.
Mm-hmm.
And they say you should have the dog or take care of it and all that. And I just I didn't I laugh it off. I was going to say, well, that takes extensive work.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking months. But that's that temperament. I seen how it is, and it was at a school event where the kids were all out. So it was real loud, and it would get skittish. a car go by and it would just get skittish.
What
It would
kind of
tuck-
breed was that, if you don't mind me asking?
It
Do
was
you
a
remember?
shepherd, some type of
Shepherd? Yeah.
shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rescue dog.
Mm-hmm.
So all these factors play in to the
Yeah.
type of training you do. So if you're single-minded and you believe in one style and that's it, what happens if those techniques you learn are not going to help on a potential client coming in with a certain situation with a dog, like a fear biter, a dog aggressive dog, or a people aggressive
Yeah.
dog? You got to know how to handle every situation,
That's right.
right? And that's what I would teach potential employee.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay, so
Well, folks, you heard it here. Now, remember, all this instruction by Michael Corbin is free. We expect you to just sit back, relax, listen to these videos, and learn something. And, of course, if you need to get a hold of Mike or you want to get a hold of Mike, the best way, again, is, Michael, tell us how people can notify you.
well, you can email me at corbin.k911@yahoo.ca, or even Facebook. Send me even a friend request or a message through there, Michael Corbin, Reality Radio. Or you could just even go on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, and it's at Corbin K9-1-1. And also, all these are like private. You have to send a friend request. I gotta accept you, and I will do it, but I just don't show any information.
Right.
Really. Let other people leave their thing open to the public. I just don't do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the way you would get me through.
All
the
right.
computer.
Well, folks, you've been listening to another free lesson, and we'll call it that because you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
Mike's giving you this great information. You've been listening to K9-1-1 with your host, Michael Corbin. Please watch our other videos online. Thank you again for watching.